impacts on businesses and fresh hope for the city's future. Over our years covering our city in crisis, I've seen and heard a lot of those challenges on businesses, big and small, such as nearby encampments, vandalism, and drug use. Tonight, a rare opportunity. Mayor-elect Wilson, a business owner himself, sitting down with us live less than 2 weeks after winning the election before he's even taken office. Keith Wilson, thank you for being with us. We'll be hearing from the business leaders who will be sharing their stories and brainstorming how to help Portland become the city we remember and make it a thriving hub to attract others as well. You got a lot of courage for coming on here, particularly live, but thank you for being here. Joining us on our panel tonight is Tim Boyle, CEO of Columbia Sportswear, with a flagship store near Pioneer Courthouse Square. Tim Bruner, owner of Axis Design Group and Engineering, a Southeast Portland business relocating to Tigard. Darren Marshall, CEO of Smith Tea, located in the Central East Side. Pam Paulette, owner of City Liquidators, also in the Central East Side. Andrew Schaefer, co-founder of Must Be Something Studio, an advertising agency in Old Town. And Aaron Schmautz, of course, president of Portland Police Association. Thank you very much for all being here. We appreciate your time, and of course, Mayor-elect Wilson. And once again, this guy hasn't even taken office yet, so he's here for a collaborative conversation. And so we certainly are going to direct our ire at you tonight. So thank you for being on the program and being here as well. I want to talk about some of your stories because you all have stories. And Tim, you in particular, we did a city in crisis story with you a couple of months ago. You, long time, 20 years, in one location in Southeast Portland, architectural business. You're now moving to Tigard. Tell the folks why.
Yeah, well, we located to the Mall 205 area because that's where my wife grew up. It was kind of, we called that home, as well as Gresham, but we wanted our business to be in Portland. And we love Gateway, the Gateway area. I still believe to this day Gateway has some of the greatest potential for development in the metro area. But we came there, it was an area that needed help, and we wanted to be a part of change. And I can honestly say after the 20 years that we've been there, it's worse now than when we first came.
Tell us some of the things that have bothered you.
Yeah, we've been dealing, and I'm not unique to other businesses in Portland. Just got the fortunate enough to be here, but anywhere from motorhomes, RVs parked on our street, stealing our power, stealing our water, one time setting my bark dust on fire, going to the bathroom in the flower beds, garbage everywhere, needles everywhere. And I say everywhere, I truly mean that. I have, my property is 1 acre and they use every part of it. So it's been frustrating. The safety in the neighborhood has gone down. I'm a business surrounded by residences, so I talk with the homeowners that don't have a choice to move, that are just there, and they're frustrated as well.
Pam Paulette, owner of City Liquidators, will go up the top row for you here. You've had a lot of frustration around your business as well. I know you had a festival this summer, and you were frustrated with the fact you couldn't get a hold of anyone to move the camps out. Tell us about that.
Well, that is, they had the cheese wedge. It's called the Wedge, and we rent our building out to a nonprofit, and our daughter Emma coordinates that. And they emailed, they called, and nothing happened. And they have to take it under advisement. Well, I don't think so. You're having a public right of way. You've got public people coming in there. These people have paid to rent the building. They're sponsored by the state of Oregon. It's all Oregon cheese and some wine. And I was so fed up, I called 311 and the lady hung up on me. And that big mistake. So I called my friends at Channel 2 and said, I'm finally ready to speak because I've been very quiet about the homeless. We help them, we try to get it cleaned up. We have 5 city blocks in a small area. And so, like Tim, they're using all parts of different buildings at some time. And you're on the side reporter came down there and she was shocked. And then she had to have somebody, they had to move away because there was a little knife fight there, by Alder. And my people say, don't, you don't have to tell anybody about that. But they had it on TV. And so, I'm just telling you, something has to change. We pay a lot of property taxes. But as you remember, I said I'd had it. And I was just so fed up that I didn't care how crazy I sounded on TV. but something has to change. You know, we're paying a lot of property taxes, and we have this enhanced service district, which is, in my opinion, a joke. They say it's not a tax, it's a fee. What's the difference? I don't know. We didn't vote for it, but we're paying it, and we're not getting our money's worth. And we need safety, and if they need a camping place to camp, I say take the 40 acres that you have at Expo and turn that into a camping area and let them camp. There's a lot of people that don't want housing. I hear it all the time, and nobody's going to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
So, but my frustration, you know, we just had an event this weekend, which was Snack Fest,
Yeah.
and we still had, they did do some clean out because part of the streets were vacated for this event, and in 2 weeks we'll have the night market. And so we're you know, we put the city on notice to say we're having another big event, and that draws a lot of traffic, and we need safety.
We're going to get at some of the solutions momentarily. I want to go to Tim Boyle now. Of course, you've had the store downtown Portland for a whole lot of years. You've had your frustrations
Yes.
with the homeless campers around your front door then. You also donated to build a homeless shelter under the Broadway Bridge. You've got a lot of compassion for the homeless folks out there. We know that. You talked at one point about maybe relocating. Why did you stay?
Well, we kept our business in our retail store in Portland downtown. We grew up here. Our family's from Portland. The original business that my grandparents opened was on the parking garage where the U.S. Bank Tower is now. So we feel a lot of ownership in Portland, and it's important, but it's incredibly difficult to stay here. And we did move one of our businesses, the Sorrel Boot Company, out to our campus in the West Side, and it just became very difficult to operate a business in Portland. We're here, we're going to be here, we hope for a long time, but it's a challenge.
Darren Marshall, CEO Smith Tea. You've had some issues with dumpster fires. Let's talk a little bit about that if we can.
Sure. Smith Tea has been in the Central East Side for about 10 years. Our founder, Stephen Smith, also founded Tazo in the same neighborhood. So we're committed to the neighborhood. It's filled with creative people that are committed to craft in the good times. The last time I was at a town hall, we talked about the issues having to walk through feces to get into our front door. Since then, we've occasionally had to walk across a dead body to get into our front door. The issue, and those are manageable issues. The issue is with fires. So we have many camps that are around our building. We have 80 employees, 80 families that we support through our business. But open fires spread, unfortunately.
And we're looking at some of that right now.
We have a warehouse that is filled with dry tea that is kindling that could go up in a second. Yes, we have insurance, and yes, we have a fire extinguisher system. But if that building goes on fire, not only is it real estate that goes up, but our business goes out of business, and 80 families go onto unemployment. We just can't have that level of lawlessness in the community. It's not good for a business. It doesn't work.
Andrew Schaefer, we want to talk to you now, owner of an ad agency in Northwest Portland. You feel the city's not allocating its funds correctly. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I guess it just feels like, I mean, we're a small business, very small, and we pay a fair amount into the city, and gladly, because it's what it's why we believe in the city. I've been here for 20 years, had my business for 10, and it feels like there's still a lack of connection between what's going in and where it comes out, and I just feel like it's a crisis. There are people on the street that are suffering, dying. There's literally nothing I haven't seen on in the streets of Old Town, and I love it there. I want to stay there, but I just want to see it get. I want to see it get better. And I know the resources are strained. I know, it's a tough place to provide those resources, but I don't see how it could get any more protracted. And people walk by it every day. You walk by people that are either having a mental health crisis or a drug-related crisis or something else, and it's hard to know what to do. It's hard to know how to help. It's hard to know, and I think it also, you don't see tourists anymore. You don't see people coming coming downtown, and it just hurts.
We've heard some of the stories. We're going to hear from you coming up after the break. Before we do, I want to hear from our viewers at home. If we can put this up right now, because I want to ask this question to them. What do you think would bring more businesses and people back to downtown Portland? Fewer homeless, harder crackdown on drug use, tax breaks for businesses, or more police patrolling? We're going to weigh in, scanning the QR code in your screen with your phone, or by voting in the poll in the story on our website, KATU.com. We'll check in on the results later on in this program. More in our discussion. We come back after this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. It's working.
2 minutes and break, 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Welcome back to our Town Hall Sitting Crisis, open for business. We want to hear from the Mayor-elect Wilson in a minute, but first of all, data from downtown Portland Clean and Safe gives some insight into why businesses believe they're losing customers. That survey was conducted in 2023, released in February of this year. It's the latest one we have. In it, 79% of participating businesses reported losing customers due to the reputation of downtown. For businesses experiencing downturn, primary reasons cited were customer loss due to homelessness. 93% of the folks in that survey said that, and perceived safety issues, 84% there. Let's bring in the Mayor-elect Wilson now and talk about all of this. The stories you just heard, first of all, give me your general thoughts on what you heard from these folks.
Well, first of all, we tend to minimize, and we think about this as kind of a canary in the coal mine. And I keep telling everybody, this is not just an indicator. This is a clarion call that we've got to act, that we have to create the crisis and treat it like a crisis. And I think that we haven't been aggressive enough. We haven't been addressing the humanitarian crisis, but we also have to recognize, these are people that are suffering. And when we don't do anything about that suffering, we're creating a perception to our community writ large that this is almost normalized. And what you've told me is what I've heard for the 9 months that I've been on the campaign trail is there's a lot of grieving going on. And we frankly have to stop the grieving, going through the emotions, and really start taking action to care for our community. And so that's kind of my first reaction to to what I'm hearing and listening.
You vowed to end unsheltered homelessness in a year.
Yeah.
For the folks at home, or maybe some of these people sitting here, describe that plan to them.
Sure. Let me just simplify this. I don't want to kind of talk too long or a grand scheme, but we have to first of all thank you all for your stories, the troubles, the trials. I know how difficult it is. I've been living in Portland my whole life for the most part, and so your stories are my friends and my neighbors as well, so I can empathize with you. To answer your question, the first and foremost is we have to end unsheltered homelessness by addressing the suffering, by creating a network of nighttime shelters to be able to care for the community members, to allow us then to meet and exceed our community safety laws. Right now, we can't enforce our no camping laws or no RVs or boats on the water because we don't have enough shelter, frankly, in our community to provide care. So we rapidly set that up. That's going to allow relief for our neighborhoods and our small businesses, like you've been talking about, to thrive. And then we're able to really give some breathing room for our homeless service providers and our housing teams to start addressing the long-term issues that are going on. But we have to stabilize our community by allowing people to have a place to go at night, to end the suffering, to then Officer Smouts and his team then can help us with enforcing community safety laws. But we'll always have an officer to be able to provide a resource for somebody to go in their moment of crisis, and we don't have that now. And that allows us to start revitalizing our economy and focusing on livability and asking people to ride transit again because they'll feel safe and they'll be able to trust it from point A to point B.
Pam Plant, I see a little bit of a smile on your face over there. Are you approving of what the mayor-elect is saying, some of the plan?
I don't know.
Tell me your thoughts.
I think our city's a bunch of big enablers because we've really tried to help a lot of people. Personally, the Plett family has done that, and all around liquidators, and they just don't want to comply. Even, you might get 3 or 4, and my kids say, "Mom, you're the only one I know that you know them all by name." I said, "Well, I think that's a sign of respect when you call somebody by their name instead of, 'Hey, you.'" But I don't think it's as easy as giving them a place to sleep at night. I mean, right now, when you come down Southeast Morrison, you turn off MLK, there's 6 tents and camps. The fire department was there today putting out something next to the big blue tree building. And I think it sounds really good, but I am a tad bit skeptical. We've been there 47 years in the same location, and I've never seen it like this. And yes, it was bad during the pandemic, but they weren't so wild. And now I think it's a much younger demographics that are violent in my mind. And I think we're lucky to have police presence. The police have been very, very good to city liquidators with any kind of break-ins. And
you can understand that skepticism a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, these folks have been through it over the years, right? Mm-hmm. I want to bring in Aaron Schmautz now, if we can, and talk about this. You heard the mayor-elect's plans, because you folks in the past have felt you were somewhat handcuffed when it comes to dealing with some of the folks downtown. And we have this camping ban in place. Give me your thoughts now when you hear his plan.
Well, look, I think that now Mayor-elect Wilson won because he had the courage to say what the problem was. We are a city that has struggled definitionally to approach the issues we have and name them. We talk about addiction, we talk about law enforcement and the different places we should be, but like what the societal accord is, what we're asking the government to do to solve these problems has been a struggle, but each and every one of these people is talking about the same problem. They're talking about the freedom to run a business, the freedom to take your kids to a park, the ability to see people struggling on the street, call the government and have something happen. It's not about just telling people you are sad they're in the situation they're in, but it's having the services to ensure that person's getting to help, for one, but for two, the person who's calling is also able to then continue on and being free in our city to engage in business, to engage in that respite activity. So our officers hear the exact same thing every day, and it is a plea for values, for clear direction, for the ability for us to be able to carry out our job, and when law enforcement's not the right solution, that we don't have an entire nonprofit complex that refuses to work with us. We want to make sure that we have partners everywhere, that all of our city tax dollars are going towards solutions and not towards different projects that don't move us forward as a city.
And Tim Bruner, I knew you had frustrations when it came to getting hold of law enforcement to deal with your issues as well. Give me your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I mean, I've had many instances where, and I think our police department's fabulous. I feel like in many ways their hands have been tied here, and they haven't been able to really do their job that they want to do. I always try to take compassionate side when there's people sleeping or taking drugs on our property, and I call the police out of safety, but often have to wait, well over an hour before they can arrive. And when they do arrive, they always give the option to the person to take them somewhere, to a bed or a place. And most of the time, the person denies that, doesn't want to go there, because there's rules and there's structure when they are given a bed, and there's rules they have to live by that they just don't want to. They don't want to be clean, or in some instances they might have an animal that they can't take to a shelter. And so there's some challenges there.
I want to emphasize again, he's brand new and he is taking notes. I want to point that out. We're going to take another quick break and continue our terrific discussion after this. Stay with us. In case you're just joining us, this is City in Crisis, open for business. This is our town hall tonight. We've got some business leaders here along with the Mayor-elect Wilson talking about homelessness and how has it affected them, what will cause them to leave, and what will cause them to stay. The Mayor-elect is going to chime in some more when we come back. Keep it here on KATU. Welcome back to our town hall. Sitting crisis open for business. If only you could hear the discussions going on in the break. They're some of the best. Mayor-elect Wilson, I'll bring you back in on this because we've heard from particularly Tim Bruner, some others who have thought about leaving the city of Portland. What can you say to them? Again, you haven't taken the job yet until January, but what can you say to them to keep them here?
Well, let's just talk about where we're at right now. Lisa Schroeder is the owner of Mothers. And I've been working with her for this last 9 months, and she's struggling like you. I mean, there's not a month that goes by where she's not losing money. Well, how do you stay in business when you constantly lose? I mean, small business in the first place, you're just trying to survive, let alone thrive. And the things that you're dealing with are not usual things you have to be threatened with. So we talked to her, and I said, please stay if you can. I understand what you have to do, but I'm going to promise to work 7 days a week to address the crisis as it is, to work with the entire city, to isolate on that priority, to make sure that this is that critical first priority. We have got to end unsheltered homelessness because you can't just add more police officers. Aaron's point, and Tim, what you were talking about, is Aaron's officers are at record overtime. They're tired. When you're working overtime, you're all business owners, you know you become an unsafe operation. Not to say or imply that you're unsafe. My point is, when you're tired and you're working 12, 14 hours, you're not going to make the same crisp decision if you're at 6 hours. Well, what are they spending their time on? You know, generally, and Chief Day and Aaron and I were talking, generally 50% of the arrests are of the unsheltered. I went out with the officers, the neighborhood response teams, great people, and right in southeast Portland, we arrested a person in a camper, looked at his record, and he'd been arrested 9 times in 3 months. We're sheltering our unsheltered using the second highest cost of shelter, and that's a jail, second only to our emergency rooms. And our emergency rooms are overwhelmed as well. So we have to take those valuable resources, set up those shelters, and then start using our community safety laws to focus on the social compact. And Pam, you said, well, what if they don't want to come in? But the rule, I mean, we know the numbers. We know 30 or 50% want shelter. So start with that. And take the pressure off of our officers and our emergency. If we got some wins, take those wins because in early Q1 and Q2, we're going to start opening shelters. We're going to start adding capacity. There are people who want that. Start taking that pressure off of the street, taking the pressure off as our officers so they can respond when called because they're overwhelmed, and we need our public safety officers there when we need them when there's an accident or a loved one is in harm's way, not spending their times processing the same people over and over again. So it's kind of that whole bottleneck philosophy. It's a systems process improvement. We can do so much more with the resources we have in our city right now.
Andrew Schaefer, you're shaking your head affirmatively back there. Your thoughts on what the mayor-elect is saying here?
Yeah, I think I absolutely agree with you across the board. I think, you know, we were talking earlier, like expecting the police to deal with mental health, I mean, there are certain aspects of it, obviously, that they can deal with, but you see so many things that are just so far beyond what a person is trained to do. It just seems like, again, how do you connect the right resource with the right problem? I mean, you know, the use of the word crisis is really, like, just admitting it's a crisis, I think, is a huge step, which I haven't really seen a lot of. And I think you said earlier, it's a humanitarian crisis. It's a health crisis. You know, there's so many ways to attack it. And I also think, in the bigger picture, look at the airport that just opened is such a wonderful gateway to the city. We're primed to go forward and higher and better. But again, when you come downtown, it's just like it's just not working.
Right.
What about expanding Portland street response? Is that a possibility you folks have thought about? I know, once again, you haven't stepped into the office yet.
Yeah,
but
nope.
Is that a possibility?
For 9 months, I've been talking about assets and how to utilize assets. And it's great to have this conversation with 6 people who have assets that you have to get return on, right? And in business and transportation, whenever I buy a piece of equipment, I always talk to my team, I want that asset to sweat. It has to move and move and move, right? And you do that as well. Portland Street Response is a massive untapped asset. There are some days of the 6 vehicles, only 2 are going out for an 8-hour shift. That is an underutilized asset because it's a non-armed response helping the police officers. And now think about its mission. You know, we're not even using it as a transport, yet it has a fourth seat. When I ride with officers, we'll come up to a homeless person, they'll want help, and we don't have the asset to transport that person to the Portland Rescue Mission or to Jean's place, which is a day shelter or something. You know what I mean? We don't have that 1 + 1 = 2 to help somebody off of the street. Portland Street Response, in my estimate, if we fund it appropriately, can really be something to help us get to that next stage in Portland.
Darren Marshall, you expressed a lot of frustration with the fires and everything else going on here. Do you have some hope inside you that things will change, or are you concerned we're not going to be able to get out of this hole that we've been in for a number of years?
I have a lot of hope. I have a lot of optimism. I want for our neighborhood, our business, and our city to thrive. What I also want is for our laws to be enforced. And I understand that we need to put the infrastructure in place, but we need to have the right infrastructure to address the right problem. I want to be able, as a business owner, to, if there's a problem, I know who to call to be able to get it sorted. And today, I make a phone call to this person, oh, not my problem. Another person, not my problem. Another one, not my problem either. And that's just not workable. If there's clearly an issue, like a big dumpster fire that's going to put your building at risk, oh yes, of course, there's the fire department who can come and extinguish it. But what about the source of that problem? And how do we have a very simple cause and effect system in place where our laws can be enforced?
That's what we hear a lot from our city in crisis stories is folks say, first of all, they don't know where to call, who to call. Even when they do, they don't get the response they feel they should get. And I know you're taking notes on that as well.
And I'd love to just kind of frame this. I'm going to take a right turn on all of you for just a moment, and Steve as well. So I've worked with a lot of the mayors, county officials, and federal officials from around the nation. And I want to give you some key numbers. In Boise tonight, there's 115 people living unsheltered. In Boston, it's 119. In Philadelphia, there's 788. In a city twice the size of Portland. In Portland, there's 5,398. So I want us to just pull back and say, well, wait a second, what do they have that we don't? It's essentially nighttime shelters. They have the ability to flex up based on the crisis, and then they can flex down when the crisis abates. We don't. We took that lever away. It was a decision we made. So I want all you to know, this is not insurmountable. We've normalized it. We voted 2 weeks ago, and we said to everybody, this is not normal anymore, because that's what I've been telling everybody. No, this is not normal. We are an outlier in the United States. If we recognize that and we treat it like a crisis, because we're treating it like a crisis, every conversation I have with my transition team and with the city is we are not going to fail because others haven't. And we have great examples around the nation who are helping us, and we're going to achieve this. We've got to turn our community around. We have to. For those that are suffering and for the small businesses that are suffering and the families that are leaving, we need to stop that, and we are, because we have a roadmap. We have a plan.
And I think that's the key, is everybody get in and treat it like a crisis.
Absolutely.
Everybody. Take another break. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to our City in Crisis Town Hall, open for business. We're continuing our discussion now. We've talked to some of the folks who have either moved out of Portland, thought about it, others who have stayed. But the question I have now is, how do we attract more businesses to the city? Tim Boyle, I want to bring you back in. Obviously, Columbia Sportswear have been around for a very, very long time. In your opinion, what would you say to city leaders to attract more businesses to Portland?
Well, I mean, let me just say that I'm really thrilled to be sitting here with the mayor-elect, because he's taken it on the chin here to be taking this job on, which is incredibly difficult. So one of the things that we don't talk enough about is the taxation. And taxes for business in Portland, Oregon have increased since 1919, 83%. And what are we getting for it? I mean, frankly, the tax authorities are at your house quicker than an ambulance in Multnomah County. And we just need to fix that. And typically these problems are a function of having not enough revenue or not enough resources. The city and county are awash in cash. The transparency to be able to, from a business perspective, to look at it and see what's going on is incredibly difficult. And one of the least expensive, most impactful things is cleaning up the streets, painting the graffiti. This is not difficult stuff, and people would recognize that there was something going on and an improvement. So these kinds of basic questions about where's the cash, what are we doing with it, who's spending it, how are we spending it, that needs to be answered, and we need to be getting back into a clean and safe mode.
Tim Bruner, you brought up those same concerns to me about the fees and the taxes that you were paying in Southeast Portland. You want to weigh in on this?
Yeah, well, let's be clear, fees are taxes. Just another way to, another name for it. You know, when I am happy to pay the taxes to wherever I'm supposed to pay them if I feel like I'm getting a return. My clients are the same way. If I'm not doing my job or if I'm not fulfilling my obligations, there's a consequence to that, and it usually has to do with around your fees or getting paid. And I don't think right now the citizens of Portland and certainly the businesses of Portland are getting a return on their investment, and it's just not right. And so one of the questions that I did have for today, for something to think about, this is a live event, so I don't want to, but it's like what I think that you, Mayor-elect, along with other electeds, there needs to be accountability for your term and a matrix or a way for us to be able, as citizens, did you solve this? Did you not? Are you 50% of the way? So there's a scorecard, because we keep voting for the same. It's the definition was insanity. We keep voting the same way, expecting to get something different, and we don't. I'm hoping that's different now, and I'm excited from what I hear. But yeah.
And it seems like you're the kind of guy who would accept that accountability as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, the two things I just heard there was, first of all, we all understand the tax burden and we have to take it seriously. It's because when we're doing our return on investments, when we're analyzing, do we buy, do we build, do we move, we're always looking at what is the return, and it has to be positive. And right now, we're looking at Portland as a negative, right? If you invest in a building downtown, you do not know it's going to be 5% increase next year. In some cases, it could be 5% decreased. So it's not a good investment proposition. But what you talked about is you want a value proposition for your taxes. You're okay with taxes, but give me something in return, you know, the livability and the food scene and able to walk out the door and go to the restaurant with my spouse and know that I feel confident with the weather and so on. That's what you're asking for. But then you said you want accountability. And as somebody who comes from the private industry, I had measures and bells and whistles going off left and right. If something went outside of tolerance, I knew what it was. I knew from an expert how to fix it and to get it back into tolerance. You're asking for just basic dashboards, and that's what we'll provide, because you want to know, if my goal is to end the shelter homelessness, well, what's my baseline? What's the progress report? Am I red or green? Is it red? Basically, should we be addressing it as a crisis, or green, are we in and making progress? I think that's just as basic. You should expect that from a small business or an enterprise that has an $8 billion focus and needs to deliver core services for you well, right? I think you should expect that, and that's what we will deliver for you. You'll see those measurements. I hope you don't need to watch them. because you'll feel confident you're getting what you're providing in taxes, and you're getting that livability and that ability to have a business that's thriving, and customers are going to be showing up and walking past your business and maybe wanting to walk into that business.
And as we talk about bringing new businesses to Portland,
Right.
Portland's reputation, as we all know, has taken a hit
Yep.
in the last few years, and that's certainly concerning when it comes to getting more folks to come here. I know, Darren, you wanted to talk about that. Let's talk about that a little bit, the reputation of Portland.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not a native Oregonian. I came to Portland because it was a cool place where there were cool things going on, a beautiful landscape, but a lot of creative, craft-oriented people who were doing really interesting things, and I wanted to be part of that. And if we're going to attract more people to our country, to our city, then we need to be able to bring that idea back. And it goes the other way around. If we're going to sell our products that are proudly made in Portland, we need to make sure that made in Portland means something. And how do we then, as a city, as a group of leaders that represent Portland and love Portland, how do we make sure that when we say made in Portland, it really means something? It stands for something. It stands for people who are dedicated to what they do, to doing things of the utmost craft, who are really interested in great taste and quality. Those are all things that we as Portland inhabitants love, and we want to be able to export that and share it with others around the country.
Don't go away. Got to take another break. Come back and continue this after this. Welcome back to our program, everybody. Our town hall tonight, and Got about 3 minutes left for this particular segment, so I want to go around quickly, just get about 30 seconds or so from some of you. And Andrew, I want to begin with you. Number one thing to keep businesses from leaving Portland. Number one thing you can think of.
Get more people downtown. I mean, it's a wasteland from Monday through Friday, and it's businesses that aren't opening or work from home, or it's just, I mean, people are just, I feel like if you could put safety aside, which obviously you can't, but if you could just get more people downtown Portland, it's, especially during the holidays. I mean, it's such a great place.
Pam Paulette, your thoughts, about 30 seconds?
I would say very similar. Get the people back to shopping. We're Central East Side, 3rd and Morrison. And if the homeless camps weren't taking up 15 parking spots on our street in front of our store and on the side of it, that's 15 customers that wouldn't have to circle around. Even though we have a parking lot, they didn't feel safe in the parking lot. So I'd say clean up the streets so we have real parking, and that would mean finding a place to shelter the homeless.
Tim Boyle, your thoughts?
Well, in a nutshell, we need to get this place cleaned up. It's not expensive. It's not difficult. If we can't pick up trash, we got a major problem.
Aaron Schmaltz, your thoughts, what it will take. I know you're coming from the police perspective, but your thoughts as president of the union to get these businesses from leaving.
Well, we need to make it easy for people to come into our city's core and take part of all the things that we have to offer. I mean, there's just so much we can do, but law enforcement needs to be a part of the visible. We saw last year during Christmas, we had officers doing walking beats. We need to restore the relationship between law enforcement and our community. We need to restore expectations around when people need help. We hear people talking about, they call a number, they don't know where it goes. No city employee should be able to say no. The answer to everything should be, let me get you to where you need to go. Law enforcement needs to be a partner in everything, but only the solution to the things that we actually can solve. We should be focused on just simply ensuring that every single time somebody calls in the name of the government in Portland, they're getting an answer, and it moves us forward together.
We got about a minute before we take another break. Can you give these folks some hope before we go to that break?
Let me tackle that same question. And we've been talking about it. And I've always wanted to just focus, if we can restore cleanliness and safety to Portland, basics that we've always enjoyed, we'll welcome an influx of investment, of jobs, small business, and families that have always made Portland what it always is. We've always grown. For 40 years prior to this last 5 years, we've always grown. We were the national miracle. And if we can just do those two things, which I'm paraphrasing what you all just said, we can get back to that city on the hill that really can show the rest of the nation that, if we are a well-run city that leaves nobody behind, we can be that message we want to send to the nation, which we all want to be a part of.
One more segment when we come back after this, so stay with us. Checking back in on our viewer poll from the top of the program, we asked this: what do you think would bring more businesses and people back to downtown Portland? Look at the results right there. We can see 51% saying fewer homeless at this time, crackdown on drug use 30%, more police patrolling 13%, and tax breaks for businesses at 8%. You can weigh in by scanning the QR code on the screen or by voting in the poll in this story on our website, KATU.com. Before we go, a couple of things. I know you've been taking a whole lot of notes. I want to get your last thoughts before we go.
Well, let me just kind of synthesize everything. What I've heard is we must act. The time for talk has really ended. It's time to act. And I believe this election was that message that was sent crystal clear. You elected me to become mayor, and it wasn't to sit back. It wasn't for a ceremonial position. It was to use the enterprise, the entire enterprise. We have a new charter reform, and so the message was overwhelming. We heard you loud and clear, and I start on January 1st, and I'm going to need the whole community to help.
That's exactly right, and I'm so glad you guys are here to hear this as well. We move forward now, all on the same path, and hopefully with a little bit of hope. Thank you for coming on, and all of you as well. That's it for us. Thanks for watching our town hall. We'll see you later on.